Hello everyone, let's talk about Pilot-ATC. This is the first part of video series. I call this one the review. Pilot-ATC, it's not a plugin. It does connect through a plugin with X-Plane 11 and it works for P3D and Flight Simulator X. What it does, it interacts with voice. The reason I chose this one is I want to see how well will this do, especially if you have an accent, like in my case, English is the second language. Well, the developers, they thought about that. Well, not just for those who has accent, for everybody. They do have a grammar, that's how they call it, which is like a practice tool. And I'll show you in a little bit. Now, before you go to grammar or before you start any flight plan, you have to assign a call sign. So to do that, you go to config, you press on config, and this is where you're gonna select an aircraft call sign. If you fly a general aviation, you select that one, or an airliner or military. Also, you have the option for heavy. And then here you can type United. Let's say I'm flying with United, so I type United, and then this is the flight number or tail number, and then you just click save, and then we can close this. And as you can see right here, it's your call sign. Now it's really important to set that one even if you go just to the grammar help. So let's click on this grammar. Now this window pops up. So here the software it allows you to practice how to say the sentences, how to talk to Pilot-ATC for the software to understand you. So you can enter your departure, ICAO, and arrival if you want. So let me do that. KLAS, we are in Las Vegas. Let's do all caps. KLAS. And then we're gonna be flying to KSFO to San Francisco. Now here you can check to see what you wanna practice. Let's say you wanna go to ground, you wanna practice a request or a engine start or clearance or pushback. Let's say a pushback, and then here we'll say, see, United 1, 2, 3, that's the call sign. And that's why it's important to set the call sign, because if you have an airliner that you want to always fly, so it's better to enter the call sign. So when you come to practice mode, we'll generate that call sign for you to make sure that the software understands everything you say. And then you can listen. So this is basically what you have to say. And then first you can listen here by clicking listen.
United 1, 2, 3 ready for pushback.
So that will give you an idea how the phrase sounds. Then you can click on practice, and then a window will pop up, and then you click OK. And now if you hold PTT button and then try to read this one, see it says practice speech. Let's try to do that. United 1, 2, 3 ready for pushback. And then here the software will write down what it understood, what you said. So in this case, United 1, 2, 3 ready for pushback. So it did understood me. And then you can replay. United 1, 2, 3 ready for pushback. You can listen to it and then practice until you will see the text here saying correct what you said. This is a very good tool to do that. Well, they recommend for everybody to do this to understand better how the software works. Also, it allows you to print a PDF. If you click on print, then it allows you to save a PDF or whatever document you want, and then click print, and I'll just enter KLAS KSFO. That's our flight plan, and boom, and now you have a PDF file. So if I open this, let me see what it is. So this is the PDF file. You got the information. Now this list is really big. So you got the information. So there's different ways to say and how to talk to Pilot to ATC. These are reports. See, again, a lot of them. These are readbacks and how to read back. There's lots of them. And then request, and then you go all the way on the bottom for request. So you see it's a big list. Now what I did, I went through all this and I made my own PDF list. Now you can do that. See, like you got clearance, pushbacks, taxi, lineup, takeoff, altitude, approach, landing, go around, and all that. Basically what I did, I just took the text here and I went to the practice mode and I read it to see which from this one it will understand me better. So you can do that too, and then you pick up the one that the software understands you. It's the same thing, it's just different ways to say it. There's a link, you can download mine if you want to. This will complete a flight, and then it's pretty much covering everything. So there's a zip file, because in the zip files you're gonna get this. And then you're gonna get the phonetic alphabet on how to say the alphabet and the pronunciations on the right side. And then also the numerals, which here the difference is just instead of 9, you say niner. But also it has the pronunciation on the right side. And also you will get the altitude flight rules. Pilot to ATC will not give you an error if you enter the wrong flight altitude. So. But we'll come back to this one in a little bit when we create the flight plan. How you can create the flight plan. So you can do a VFR or an IFR. Now, after you set your call sign, then you come here. There's three ways. Let's say 3 ways to create a flight plan. First, you can go to the waypoint and enter your departure airport, which in this case KLAS. And then you're gonna click again on waypoint and enter your destination airport, KSFO in this case. So now we have departure and arrival airport, and the flight altitude rules. This come in handy, because if you picture this airport right here in the middle. So now we are flying west, so we know that we have to enter an even 1000 plus 500. If you fly VFR will be plus 500. If you fly IFR will be, let's say this flight will be, let's say at flight level 320 or 280. So this is how you can check with the altitude rules to make sure you are entering the correct altitude, especially if you fly with traffic. Alright, so you can use the auto plan by clicking on auto plan, and then Pilot to ATC will communicate with, in this case, X-Plane 11, and based on a wind and a traffic that it sees, it will give you and generate the runways. So you see we have the seed, shed 1, runway 25 right with OAL transition, and then runway 28 right for the star for the approach with mode 8, the same transition, and then ILS runway 28 right for the ILS approach. Cruise altitude, this is flight, see what it says cruise altitude, you click on that and this is where you set your flight cruise altitude. Let's say you want to do 320, flight 320, enter there and then enter, and now you change the flight cruise altitude. You can also change the descent rate if you want to, you can do that too. You can also change the planned ground speed. So once you have this, you can just click on File here. So you click on File, and then you have the flight plan in. So once you have your flight plan generated, or you enter your own, you can save. You can load one if you have one. Once you have the flight plan, you click on Export, and now you have the option to export the flight plan to whatever flight simulator you're flying with. So it works with FSX, P3D, P32 version 4, X-Plane 10, 11. And then you have different aircraft options, file options to save. Mine, it's I'm flying with Airbus 320 from JAR Design, so that one reads a text file. If you do fly with the same airplane, the only thing you need to do is erase that line over there. The file name should be just the departure and your arrival airport, and then you just click export. You might want to check first to see how the file name should be. And once you have this, once you export this, so I export mine in X-Plane 11 main folder aircraft JAR Design 320 flight plans, and then I just export. So now I can go to the FMC and just import the flight from there. Another way, let's click. So again, KLAS for your departure, KSFO for arrival. Let's say you want to fly, this is really good for VFR flights, if you want to fly a pad that has like nice scenery. Now here you can select pretty much create your own route. Now this map here, it does give you vectors and everything. That's, you know, it shows you the low airways, shows you the high airways, so you can create a traffic just, you know, using the airways, and, you know, see exactly which one which way you want to fly it, and make sure you do fly it a correct airway. So you do have that option too. So here you can see you can change the views and everything. So basically here, when you click on seed, you can select the seed you want to take off. I mean, you can go ahead and check with the charts, and it will give you a list of seeds. So let's say I'm just doing randomly. I'm not checking the charts right now. So let's say you want to select that one. If you have a transition, you can also select your transition and then load. So that will be your seed. It's not correct, but anyway. And then also you can do the same thing on star. You can go ahead and select the runway if you want a different runway. Your star with a transition, it will give you all this transition load, and now you have your own flight. And then the only thing you have to make sure on approach, if you change the runway at your destination, make sure you do change it at the approach option, runway 28, and then you have the option for ILS, RNAV. You can also select transitions, and then you click load, and now you have your own flight. And then again, you send the file in by clicking on file. The third way to do it, you can import a flight plan. So if you click on import, this window will pop up. Now you can select here flight aware, sim brief, PFPX, real world flight plan. I'm just gonna give you an example on flight aware. So let's say you want to fly from from Las Vegas to New York, right? So this is the flight plan that you have. You can just copy this text, copy, and then you paste it over here. Now the only thing you need to do is enter your departure airport, let's do all caps, KLAS, and then you click space, and then in the end I'm gonna click there, I'm gonna click space, I'm gonna enter a space, and then KJFK, right? And then we're gonna enter our destination airport. So now we have the entire flight plan. So if I click import, now we have the entire flight. Now based on flight aware, you still have to set your seeds and your star. So your seed will be stars, and then the star will be Landy 6, and then you will come here, runway 19 left, and as you can see we don't have stars, and that's because the seed for this runway it's not available. So let's say runway 1 left. No, how about runway 28 left? Yes. So like this you will know what runway to select. Now you can select 28, or that's 26 left or 26 right, and then you can select stop 8. Let's see, is there any transitions? Yes, so you got, let me show you here. So that's your seed, and then you have, these are the transitions, VERKN, and you can see here, it's right here. And then you can just select that and then load. So now you have the same seed and transition. And then obviously you can do the same thing, will be Landy 6, and I'm guessing this will be the transition, LVZ. So let's see. So we go to star, and then once again here we have to see, let's see, well you can also check on the map here to see if you see the star or the seed in the other case. So there you go, you have Landy 6. So this runway will be good, 31 left, Landy 6, and LVZ, it already gives me that transition, and then load, and then it did change runway 31 left here. So there you go. Now you might want to check with the charts to see. I'm not gonna do that right now. So obviously you select 31 for your approach, ILS if you want ILS, or RNAV or VORTAC. ILS, I'm not gonna select any transition, and then I'm just gonna click load. Now we have the same flight plan as you find it on Flight Aware. Now it's the same thing for the other ones, for scene brief and everything. Just copy the text, put it in there. It's the same way to do it. Let's say you want to get info from your departure airport. You can select it here and then click on info. So now you have the elevation, departure and arrival runways and all that information. And then also you can get the weather by clicking on this WX, the weather, and now it shows you temperature, winds, altimeter. So you can also do the same thing with your arrival airport or info. Now frequencies here will show you the frequencies available for your departure and your arrival airport. So these are the frequency. You can also see the runways where they are. So pretty much you have all this information here. Taxi, after you get a taxi clearance and a taxi pad, you can even click on taxi here. Right now we don't have one, but and then it will show you which way to taxi to the runway. Also you can get an info here. If you click on info, you can enter, let's say I want to get an info for our destination airport, just enter the destination ICAO, enter, and now you have all the airport's arrival, departure, runways, elevations, transition level, transition altitude. These are the frequency, runways and gates. You can see them right here, runways and all these gates. If you zoom in with the scroll, it will show you all the gates available and all that. You can also see the charts too by clicking on TERPS, TERPS, and you can see the seats, you can see the starts. Also, you can what you can do, let's say if an airport does not have the charts, you can import them. If you have a PDF file, just click on open and select your PDF file, and then it will show up here. Or you can just go to browse, and then let me bring the browser here back, and then you search on Google for charts, and make sure you get the one that, see it says PDF. Now when you click on PDF, just copy this link here and just paste it up here. Paste. And then when you click enter, now you have the charts. So now this is a tool where you can fix, let's say the gates and the charts, they're not accurate with what Pilot-ATC gives you, then you can come here and fix that. So if I click on show taxiways, see right now it shows me all the taxiways available, and then if you click on a taxi line, it shows you the taxi name. See, this is Bravo, and then this is Alpha, and then this is the runway. So if you're familiar with X Live Airport Editor or maybe WED, this will be easy. But this is where you can fix all these gates, name, where they are, and then the taxi lines if they're not correctly done. Also where you can do, and I noticed a couple of airports that were not up to date, you can import from your scenery. So you see I have Explain 11 main folder, and then you can import taxiways and then the gates, and that probably will get it close, but not necessarily. You still have to check to see. Now I'm not gonna stay too long on this one. I just want to show you that you do have this option too. Let's talk about traffic. What you see on the screen, it's Explain 11 traffic. Now recently I did find out that after Explain 11.10 update, Laminar Research did add this option for the aircraft developers to be able to create just AI aircrafts. They are like the Bluebell packages, and this will not affect your frame per second. Now let me show you something here. If I go to AI, I do have what is 16, I think maximum is 19, but I can go to 19 no problem. As you can see, these are all Explain FW. These are all AI aircrafts. So to do that, you go to explain.org forum, and a link is provided under the description of this video, and you can click on it. Will take you straight to that, and then you download the AI aircraft pack. You get a zip file and you unzip it. You have a folder which is AI. You take this folder and then you just go to your Explain 11 main folder, aircraft, and then see the folder is right here, and just paste it in there. If you go to an airport and you see the AIs taxiing through the buildings, that means that airport does not have set the ground traffic in WED. So now you can even go somewhere on a forum and ask for somebody to do that ground traffic in wet for you, it has to be done in wet. Otherwise, the ground traffic will be all over the place. Also, you cannot have, as you can see, this is the default airport. Now, some airports, if you have a paid one or you download a different airport because it looks much better, if you load that, your ground traffic might not show up from X-plane. It will show the aircrafts parked at the gates, but not the one they're moving on the ground. So you're gonna have the traffic only in the air, and nothing is landing, nothing is taxiing. But that's just for an airport. It depends. Some you might, some you don't. But I really recommend you, if you have Pilot to ATC, just do one flight with the traffic, with everything here, because if you want to have the full experience of this Pilot to ATC, you should do a flight, at least one with the traffic from X-plane. Be careful with the battery switch. For some reason, I'm flying with Airbus 320 from JAR Design. It does not see when I turn on the batteries. See this icon right here? It has to be green. If I turn this one off, see this one, it's red. So when this icon here is red, that means Pilot to ATC does not read you, does not hear your voice. So sometimes you have to, depends on aircraft you fly, just select the ignore battery switch, and sometimes you might have to do the avionics too. Just keep in mind this icon has to be green. Sounds. Now here, sounds that you hear in the background, these are the X Chatter. Now X Chatter works with this one. You don't have to install it as a plugin. You can just assign the folder where the sounds are, and then it works just perfect. If you have other audio files that you wish to use, you can assign them here. If you click on this one, you just select the file that you want to Pilot to ATC to play in the background, and it will do. Here it gives you like a radio background sound. See, there are two options here that comes with ATC, with Pilot to ATC, but I keep that off. Now voices. Now you can have different voices. Default you have the Windows voices is the I think David and Zira. You can add more. So if you go to Windows to settings, to time and languages, see I have 3. For some reason the Canada does not work, I don't know why, but you can add more. These are free, not all of them work, so this is the English version. You can get the Spanish version too. I didn't try. Somebody was mentioning that you can have that, and it does talk in English with accent. You can have that, or you can purchase them. I purchased a couple of them from this website, Harpo Software, and then you select the languages and which one you want, and then you purchase. And this is how it sounds. So let's say Nathan.
This is Vocalizer Expressive Nathan Harpo 22 kHz. I will be your co-pilot for the flight.
So that's my co-pilot, and then when we go to clearance delivery,
this is Vocalizer Expressive Malcolm Harpo 22 kHz. I will be your clearance delivery for the flight.
If you go to departure ground,
this is Vocalizer Expressive Tom Harpo 22 kHz. I will be your ground controller for the flight.
Departure tower.
This is Ivona 2 Garai 10 OEM. I will be your tower controller for the flight.
This is going, it's a little bit quieter than the other ones, but let's set this to 95. So here you can select the volume, how loud to be, and you can let's say Hazel, and then I have David.
This is Microsoft David.
You know, this one, and then Zira.
This is Microsoft Zero Desktop. I will be your Unicom voice for the flight.
One thing I did select this match sim runway if known, and this will match with the traffic that it sees. If you don't have traffic, then when you create a flight plan and you use the auto plan, the runways might not match with the actual runways. So it goes based on traffic and winds. So if the winds are calm, you might have an error. But I keep this one because I have the traffic, so of course I'm gonna keep that one on. You can set the weather from where to read and all that. If you have a file, you can upload your weather, and then the buttons here. The PTT button will be the one that you talk to it, and you can assign a joystick button or a keyboard button. Also on the say it button, say it, it's, let's say your copilot reads back what the ATC gives you, so you can use that one. Instead of you talking, you can just click on say it. You will see on the video, on the second part, on the flight, I use both. I talk and then I use the say it button. United 123 ready to copy IFR clearance.
United 123, we don't have a flight plan on file for you.
The green text will be what you said. The white text will be what the ATC is saying, and then the yellow text will be what's you to read back. Now you can click on PTT and read back, or you do have the option to click on say it, and then the copilot will read this yellow text. Now you do have other options. You can click on this question mark. So this is a speech assistant. If you want the copilot to talk for you, let's say like that, you can click on this question mark, and then you have request information or report. You can request that, and you select clearance, whatever you wanna the copilot to say, and then select the text, and then just click on say it.
United 123 ready to copy IFR clearance.
United 123, we don't have a flight plan on file for you.
If you click on question mark plus, it comes in on a different window, and you can have that one anywhere you want. If you have a third monitor, you can have this one on your third monitor. Now keep in mind, this is not a plugin, it's a software, and because of that, if you click on the sim, it will go behind it. It will not stay on top. And also you have the option to minimize this, make a smaller version. That's it with Pilot to ATC, the review. And let's go to the flight and see how this performs. I'll see you guys in part 2.